It appears that, looking over there in my monitor, we might be having a really nice sunrise in about 20 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty nice right now. I can see Merv's flag flapping in the wind, and yeah, yeah, Merv is one of my neighbors, and he's about 5 doors or more further down to the east. And he puts up a Canadian flag in his backyard. And occasionally we see it flapping in our scene, like we do right now. Anyway, episode 1000. Okay, well, what are we going to do special? I know some people have been asking me, anything special? Well, there's nothing really special planned. About the only thing special I'm going to do, you'll see it after the rollback. And it's nothing spectacular. Not like our sunrise is going to be. Nothing special like maybe I've ordered the Iowa or Missouri or something like that, and I was going to spring that on you. No, nothing like that. Just a little something different. And we'll take a look at it after the rollback. The rollback explains what's going on here. So let's just roll back and get this over with, and then we'll get on with our model ship. This little clipper has more than paid for itself now. I gave myself a haircut after my neighbor left from coming over and having coffee with me this afternoon. And yeah, it has more than paid for itself now. This is today was the 4th haircut. And at $20 a haircut, that's what I used to pay the barber, with the tip and everything. And yeah, it's $80. Well, it didn't cost $80. So every other haircut now that I'm going to be giving myself is going to be a bonus. Now I just heard myself say every other haircut. I should have said every haircut that I give myself from now on is a bonus. Okay, from what I can remember years ago, a bulb like this would have been used in like in your parking light. This would have gone way back to the 50s, 60s, maybe in the 70s. And from what I remember, they were about 500 milliamps. A headlight, your car headlight, was about 4,500 milliamps, to give you, an idea. And there is a way to calculate this out. Now, I shouldn't be grounding it out with my fingers, but it's going to make very, very little difference. All right, let's just see how many ohms this is. Okay, it's call it 2 point. I'm trying to hold it still here so it's not arcing, if you know what I mean. Okay, we'll call it 2.5. Does that make sense? Okay. 2.5. Now let's do the little one here. Now this one's going to be, the resistance will be a lot greater, so the ohms should be a lot more. It's hard to not, the connection isn't all that good. This thing is auto-ranging, and I guess I'm moving it with my fingers here, and it just can't get a solid. Maybe I'll try to get a different way of doing this here. There we go. 26.5. So there's a huge difference. In other words, this one's going to take about 10 times as much power as this one, but this one will probably be 10 times brighter too. Yeah, I can't remember what these little bulbs were for. Okay, let's go to the computer and calculate it out. Maybe I should redo this one here so that my fingers aren't it comes out around the same, 2.5. Okay, let's go to the computer and get a calculator going and see how close to 500 milliamps this is at 12 volts. Okay, here we go with our watts, volts, amps, ohms calculator. And we'll do the big bulb first. And the resistance in ohms was 2.5. And we're going to take the voltage at 12 because it's a, it was made for a car. And here we go, calculate. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. 4.8 amps, that's like the headlight for a car. That's 57 watts. Yeah, that's like a car. You know what? I must have read that thing wrong. I must have read the well, let's just for the fun of it do the click reset. Let's do the smaller one. 26.5 at 12. No, that's not right. 12. Okay, that would be 452 milliamps. That's not right either. It wouldn't be that much. I must have done something wrong. Well, we know that the big one is like 10 times more than the little one. I wonder if maybe there was another scale on that I should have been reading. I'm not used to that ohm meter. I'm used to my old one that was more analog. Well, it was digital, but it wasn't auto ranging. I must be doing something wrong here. Well, here's what's happened, besides the fact that the clock has really moved along. I soldered leads onto both bulbs, the larger one and the smaller one. But I only fastened these things onto the smaller one. And the reason being is I'm thinking if the smaller one will do the trick, then there's less chance of maybe burning something out here in the circuit board, which is not designed to send this much current out. If you know what I'm trying to say here. It's getting late and I can't talk. Anyway, yeah, so and I've got a couple of little bare spots here. You can see I've got one right there on the black wire and one here on the red wire. And the idea is we should be able to use Tony's clips here and clip it on very quickly and find out if it's going to work. But that's going to have to be tomorrow. It's getting pretty late here, and my voice is starting to go, and I'm getting pretty tired. And I don't want to be making any mistakes. So we'll see you in the morning. Well, it is morning. And this is as special as it's going to get. I don't know if I should apologize or not. Yeah, remember I was talking about making a green t-shirt? Well, I did. not going to go into a bunch of details about how I made it, but I made it really simply. And looking at myself in the monitor here, I don't know. It reminds me kind of I think I mentioned a hospital gown, except there's no opening in the back. Okay, let's not talk about this. I don't know if I'm going to wear it all day or not. Maybe I will, because this is the special day, so I'll wear my special shirt. It's comfortable, very comfortable. I don't know if it's any more comfortable than my bus depot shirts that I've been wearing for the last 10 years. But anyway, let's get on with this and hook this up and see if it's actually going to make a difference, and this thing is going to stay running. I think it might, and if it doesn't, then we'll rewire. I'll put hooks onto this thing here, and we'll take a chance that this heavy bulb is not going to burn out our circuit board. Okay, let's recompose here. Okay, I will move in here so you can see how these things actually clip onto a wire. And in my case, I'm going to be using a wire. I should mention our sunrise, it fizzled out. We actually saw it at its, you might say, most spectacular moment. So we're not going to go there. But what I was going to say is, in my video editing program, I can sort of, you might say, Photoshop dark areas like this. You can adjust the HDR, the high dynamic range, so that light or dark areas like right in here, like this is all black. And I can see this wheel that I'm turning right now very clearly, but you can't. You can sort of see it. Problem is when you do the high dynamic range and turn it up or down depending on how you look at it, the rest of the scene just doesn't look normal. So anyway, I don't know why I'm mentioning that. It's just that I'm sort of once again kind of apologizing for the fact that this is not real clear. Even and you'll think, well, why don't you increase the light? Well, all you're doing is that sort of works, but not really with black. Anyway, thinking out loud here again. Let's just sort of move in, and we'll hook these on, and then we'll push our button and see if it stays running. Yeah, I just hate trying to video or photograph anything that is black, unless everything is black. But when you get my fingers are fairly light, and the background is black. Okay, so what we do is now we squeeze this thing like. I'll just show you here. When you squeeze it like this, you can hook onto the wire like that. All right. Now I know I'm putting black on black and the green is on the red, but it doesn't really matter with a light bulb. Okay, I'll try and get this one turned so that you can see how it's going to work. And hook this on here, and this is the first time I'm doing this. This is actually the first time that I'm using these for what they're meant to be used for. So, all right, let's just move back and recompose and push our button and see what happens. Okay, we're ready to go here. Now, from what I remember when I bought these light bulbs 30 or more years ago, they were rated at 14 volts. It seems to me that the little package they came in said 14 volts. Now this thing here, it's designed to put out 5 volts. That's what USB is. And So here we go. So if we're going to see this at all, it might be just a very light glow. Anyway, let's stop talking here. Let's push our button and turn it on, and we might see a little poof of smoke come out of our circuit board, or it might work as planned. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Is this little light bulb even on? I'm not seeing anything. Oh yeah. If I look through, yeah, I'll there's a very slight glow there. You probably can't see it. In fact, I know you can't see it because I can't see it unless I go like this. It is causing a little bit of resistance there. Well, let's just leave it run and see if it's going to stay running. I mean, that's the whole idea. Increase the load just enough so that this thing won't shut off. Well, is it wishful thinking here on my part, or is it actually working? It's been going a lot longer than I ever remember it going before. I think it's probably safe to take and fasten these things in somewhere where they're not going to flop around. And yeah, I'll probably just take the hot glue gun and just stick everything to the inside. Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on with the model ship. Okay. Now is probably a good time to mention that the idea about using CA glue in these is a good idea, but only for about 24 hours or maybe 48 hours. I think that the rubber that is on the end of the plunger here reacts with the CA glue and causes it to start to cure. And yeah, out here at the end, it's not cured yet, but all around the rubber it was cured. Now the curing agent, on the other hand, it's still good, and it's been several days now. So yeah, if you buy a bag of 100 of these syringes, and you can get them really cheap, it's a good idea. As long as you're going to do it like within 24 hours or so. All right, now these glasses, I find that they are really good for here at the model table, and the reason being is that the frame is so slim that it does not affect my peripheral vision, and I am knocking stuff over less with these glasses. These used to be downstairs. I had them in my welding helmet because they're nice and small, and I could get my helmet on over top and be able to hunker down over something and just hope to goodness that the auto darkening would work. Okay, and it always did. Well, I'm not blind, right? Anyway, yeah, so I thought I'd just mention, you may have seen these sitting here on the model table, and they're kind of nice. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be using the 19 now and go around on the blast bags where I accidentally touched the 22 on the blast bags. And then I think what we should do is get the model ship here on the model table and drop some of these parts down. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? That'd be sort of special. Yeah. Oh, almost forgot. This thing's been running now since 9:30 this morning. It's steady. I haven't shut it off. And well, that can't be accurate. It says 98% power still. Well, it could be. This thing used to run my iPad for, I used to calculate out about 18 hours. and the iPad drew quite a bit. I used to use it to watch videos when I was going on the bus to see my mom in Kelowna, and it was a 2-day trip, and it really helped to pass the time. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's get the model ship on the table, and I think it's going to start to look more like a model ship by the end of the day. What do we got here? It's almost noon. I'm going to be wanting to cut this episode off pretty soon anyway. Get it uploaded. Let's get at it. Well, here's what's happened. By the time I did my touch-ups, and then touched up where I had to redo over top of the touch-ups, time has really gotten away on me here. And I think in order to be able to enjoy, putting these guns down, boy, it just seems like yesterday I put this tape on here to cover this up so that if we drop something down in there, Murphy's Law, it says that if you're going to drop something, it's going to go down this hole. So that's why I put the tape on. Anyway, I think we're going to have to call this episode a day. And probably in tomorrow's rollback, we'll be putting these guns down. I think there's about 18 or 20 pieces here that we have to put down. So thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.